4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Go! Oh, hey.
1-2. It's been a while. The roads were a little empty. Places where we used to gather went quiet. We've gone through a year that tested us, but we're starting to see the promise of a new day. For more than 100 years, there's one place where we all came together to be entertained, to escape, to go someplace new. The movies. There's nothing like that moment when the lights go down. The projector ignites. And we believe.
Tell me you're not thinking what I think you're thinking. There's no bridge!
Oh, hell no.
Well, that was new.
After staying apart for so long, we miss the old life
Do you?
every day. It's time to come back together.
I'm ready if you are.
To laugh.
My ass is in fuego!
To cheer.
Yes!
We're ready to make you believe again.
Whoa.
Because nobody does a comeback like the movies.
It's good to be back.
We'll see you soon.
What's up, everybody? We are live. It is Movie Show Plus's live Oscar preview special. It's happening now. If I'm looking down a lot, it's because I'm reading comments as they're happening. That while this event goes on, you guys can comment, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll be able to respond. Like this comment right here from Diane. Hi, so happy you're doing this. Thank you. I am too. This is pretty cool. So what we're going to do today is we're going to obviously get us hyped for the Oscars. We're going to be on from 5 to about 6. In a little bit coming up, we have preview predictions. I have a couple local Detroit critics and friends of mine. Michelle Kisner, who's a critic for Spoiler Free. I always screw up the name. Spoiler Free Sleuth. Oh, no. Let me think what it is. SpoilerFreeMovieSleuth.com, everybody. And then Nate Adams, theonlycritic.com. They're going to join me later. We're going to be talking about Oscars. A lot of you who watch the show might be wondering where Greg is. Greg Russell couldn't make it live today, but I have a segment coming up with him also where we're going to chat a little bit about Oscar talk. So there's all kinds of stuff going on today. And the other thing that I want to mention right off the bat is that at the end of the show, you guys will be able to win some cool stuff. And I'm going to pull that up right here for you now. Let's see. There you go. We're going to be raffling off some names, and you're going to be able to win some free movies. Somebody else is going to win a $25 gift card from Maple Theater. And all of these things are possible because you are able to sign up for the free e-newsletter on Movie Show Plus. So let me pull that up too. Sorry, guys. Let me get my stuff together here. Okay, where are we at? There we are. Sorry. So on the screen right there, you're going to see a QR code. scan that code or go to Movie Show Plus at any point during this live stream and sign up for the e-newsletter. If you are a member of the e-newsletter subscription list, that's how you can win. We're going to pull a name from people that subscribe to that. So stick around to the end of the show to try to win some of those giveaways. I want to thank, of course, the Gin and Tonics for that awesome open, and also Vin Diesel for joining us here on the Movie Show Plus Oscar preview special. And before we get further into it, one other thing is I want to let you know that, again, the commenting, let's see what we're doing. There's Catherine Meldrum, a good fan of our show. I'm going to pull her comment up. Oh, she just gave us a hand clap emoji. There we go. There's somebody else saying, miss you at the Maple next year. Yeah, me too. The Oscar Gala is fantastic, and I wish I were there. But Greg is usually there as well. He's not, but I taped a little segment with him talking Oscars. We're going to get to that right now. Stay tuned for the rest of the festivities as we get into all of the rest. Coming right up. Here we go. So right now I'm joined with none other than my co-host, Greg Russell. What's up, man?
Doing great, man. Just like you, I'm here in a movie theater virtually. I got popcorn and tickets and everything.
You look good as always, man. And it's Oscar Sunday, as we know, as people are watching this. Greg, there is a lot of these films this year that were not blockbusters. They were smaller films. A lot of people hadn't seen a lot of these movies. I hope that they have by now. If you haven't, you still probably could fit one in before Oscar time starts here in a little bit. But because of that, there's a lot of excitement if you've seen these films, because there aren't a lot of really clear front runners, where in the past there's usually at least a couple that it's like, done deal. That's the winner. What do you think of the unpredictable nature of this year's slew of nominees?
Well, that's just it. There's so many great performances this year. I mean, especially as far as a lead actress. I mean, pretty much everybody nominated in that category deserves to win. Still, my favorite is still Carey Mulligan. I mean, I loved Promising Young Woman. I mean,
what a great film. Yeah.
And, just especially with the way it doesn't end up like anybody in their right mind would think it would end up. So, it's something that's a little bit different, and just her performance. But again, you've got Viola Davis, who always, brings her A game. Frances McDormand. I mean, geez, how do you pick? I mean, it's kind of like I said, I would like for her to win, Carey Mulligan, that is, but whoever she doesn't, somebody else does, it's like, well, they did a great job.
And then Andra Day too is like a breakout. Usually there's always one, she'd probably be like the dark horse in the category in terms of like, nobody really thinks that she's going to win. Right. It was probably an honor to be nominated, because a lot of times with the Oscars, you have to kind of prove yourself over the course of a couple performances before they'll really give you one. I am pulling kind of for Vanessa Kirby, who's one that nobody really talks about. I was like you. I mean, Carey Mulligan was absolutely amazing in Promising Young Woman, and I'm like, nobody could touch her this year. And then I saw Pieces of a Woman with Vanessa Kirby, and it just absolutely floored me. But speaking of like a body of work and then being recognized, we move on to the acting category, and it's really not a done deal either. But Chadwick Boseman is really the front runner here, not so much because of his amazing body of work, not simply because, he passed shockingly and like shocked the world with, the news of his passing. But he's really good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
No, I agree with you, and I've said the same thing, because a lot of folks are, not a lot, but some folks are going, they'll probably just give it to him because he passed away, and it's like, no, he did do an excellent job. Absolutely. So if he wins, don't look at it like we said as here, this is like in lieu of flowers. No, he deserved it. Absolutely. I mean, I think his closest competition to me is Anthony Hopkins, for it, who did an excellent job in the Father movie. I mean, and for those of us who have ever gone through living with a parent who had dementia and we had to take care of them, that movie really hits home.
I loved the father. I mean, I really hope it gets something somewhere because it was really a profound movie. And you know, the other thing about Best Actor is out of nowhere, the Independent Spirit Awards happened on Thursday, and Riz Ahmed was a surprise win there for Best Actor. Now he's amazing too. Sound of Metal. And my wife pointed this out to me, but he not only was amazing in the movie, but he learned to play the drums, and he learned how to communicate as a deaf person would over the course of 7 months leading up to that performance. So talk about really putting yourself into something. His win though puts him on the radar, where before you know he really wasn't getting all that kind of big momentum. But it's anybody's game. What about for Best Picture? Now, I know you love Promising Young Woman. Do you think it has a chance of winning?
That one I think is probably a little bit lower, you know, as far as winning for Best Picture, because they've got so many. I mean, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Judas and the Black Messiah, Nomadland, which I mean, everybody had been talking about, and so Promising Young Woman, I don't think will win. I mean, I wouldn't feel bad if it did, but I don't think that's up on that top part. What about you?
You know, I would be surprised. I mean, Nomadland is just coming out on top. And then the only thing that makes me, it's kind of like we've been seasoned to root for the underdog for the Oscars, because so often the front runner all the way through award season will get upset at the Oscars. So that's the only reason. There's no science behind it, but that's the only reason I would think Nomadland might not win. But all signs are pointing to her winning. I would be shocked if Nomadland did not pull it out. Greg, and then, you know, real quickly, let's touch on this too. A historic year in terms of diversity. Is it enough for it to just be a 1 year? You know, hey, this is great. I mean, this has to be the new way of things in Hollywood for this to really make a change, right? Over the course of time, sustaining this.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, it's kind of like, you know, each February we celebrate Black History Month. And after that, it's like, okay, we're done. We're good. No, it should be something that's celebrated all the time and talked about all the time. And the same, like you said, in regards to movies. I mean, people of all different ethnic backgrounds and colors have been in movies really since the start. But it's always just kind of like, you know, they were never the stars. So just kind of push back. Also, even in regards to directors, screenwriters, and women. I mean, I think this year, isn't it the most amount of women are nominated for Academy Awards? I mean, in all different categories.
Correct. Absolutely. Yep. It's absolutely correct. And I applaud all of the achievement this year. And, you know, you can't get mad at it because people are saying, oh, it's only this year. Well, it's got to start somewhere. And I do hope that this is the beginning of the way that things are, you know, so that by the time my kids are watching the Oscars, it's just part of it. You know, and it's not even a thing that's discussed because it's such an ingrained part of how things are, and that all these voices are being heard through film. So,
because you're
Greg,
right. I say it would be fabulous where it's no longer the first woman, the first African American, the first. It's just Sue won, Bob won, so and so won, and there you go. Exactly.
Well, Greg, I know too. The last couple of years, we've been celebrating the Oscars with the people, doing an Oscar gala, you know, at the Maple Theater. This year, what are you doing for the actual Academy Awards?
I'll be back in the basement bunker with my tuxedo pajama pants on, and have a little champagne and watching it. How about you?
Yeah, about the same. You know, I'm just going to be watching it. I might do a little live tweeting, you know, here and there, but other than that, you know, it's been a while, but I grew up watching the Oscars. It's a huge day in my life every year. You know, it's like Christmas. So I make a big deal about it. Usually I get like Chinese food and I just plop myself down and watch it. And so I'm kind of looking forward to doing that again this year. Although I love the gala and I can't wait to get back to it, hopefully next year.
That would be great. That would be great. And ironically, I just thought we've got big red chairs in our basement. So
there you go.
Fit in perfectly.
Greg, thank you for joining us here on the live show. I know you got to get running, so we'll let you go, and we'll get back to the rest of the Oscar preview festivities.
Enjoy, folks. Thanks, Tom.
So everybody, we are just plowing along here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Oscars, of course, are coming up tonight on ABC, 8:00. They will start with a pre-show at 6:30, a 90-minute pre-show. It's going to be really different this year, everybody. The whole broadcast, nobody really knows what to expect, so it should be interesting. And of course, with the pandemic and everything that we just went through this past year, a lot of people are it's a weird year for movies because a lot of people are saying, well, I didn't see the movies, which I kind of find to be interesting because they're all streaming, they're all available. But anyway, that's maybe we'll talk to our critics about that in a second. But needless to say, though, it was a very important year. A lot of Oscar history was made. And I want to kind of go through some of the key history points that happened this year. So if you're looking on the screen here, Judas and the Black Messiah was the first all African-American production to be nominated for Best Picture. It's the first time 2 women directors were nominated in the same year. That's Emerald Fennell and Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao was also the first woman to earn 4 nominations in a single year. Director, picture, adapted screenplay, and editing. This woman does everything, by the way. She's absolutely fantastic. Stephen Yeun, the Detroit native, well, from Troy, I should say. First Best Actor nom of Asian American descent. Riz Ahmed, the first Muslim Best Actor nomination. Viola Davis became the most nominated African American actress with her 4th this year for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Viola Davis and Andra Day both being in that category, just a second time. 2 African American actresses nominated in Best Actress at the same time. Oddly enough, what's kind of interesting about that is the first time that it happened, Andra Day was actually, Billie Holiday. Andra Day plays Billie Holiday, and the last time that it happened, it was hold on a minute, guys. I lost my feed here. It's live television. All right, there you go. You guys can still hear me. That's all that's important. So anyway, let me start that over. Andra Day is nominated for United States versus Billie Holiday. The last time 2 African-American actresses were nominated, Diana Ross was one of them, Cicely Tyson the other, but Diana Ross also portrayed Billie Holiday. So that's interesting. Let me fix something here, guys. Sorry about this. All right, and hope you can hear me there again. Sorry, again, live. We're working out some kinks here as we do this. So anyway, you guys hear me now, hopefully. Let me start that over again. I'll say it one more time for those that might not have heard me with echo feedback. Viola Davis, Andra Day nominated 2 African-American actresses in Best Actress category. The last time it happened, Diana Ross was nominated with Cicely Tyson, and Diana Ross actually portrayed Billie Holiday, as Andra Day does this year, so that's kind of interesting. And then also, of course, last but of course not least, 70 women received 75 total nominations this year. Both are records. So with all that, and sorry about the feedback there, everybody. Again, it's live. We're trying this live. It's kind of like Wayne's World, even though I look like I'm on the red carpet. But without further ado, we're going to bring on our guest critics. They've been waiting patiently. And let's do that. So first we have Michelle Kisner. Hey there.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Michelle? Yeah. What's up?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
The Movie Sleuth. Sorry, I screwed up your website when I butchered it earlier, but people can find her at the Movie Sleuth. Are you excited for the Oscars, Michelle?
I am. I'm gonna, after we're done with this, and I'm gonna, grab some dinner and, a couple of beers, which is what I usually do.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have Oscar parties in 2000. The year before last, had Oscar party, but obviously that's not feasible this year. So looks like pajama night and Oscars and beer.
Yeah, sounds like a winning combination to me. And then next, of course, we have, let's bring in Nate.
Hey, how's it going? Hey guys.
How's it going? Mezza, they say in Italian.
I'm excited to talk about everything Oscars.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you both for joining me here today. We're going to get to the predictions in all of the categories. We're going to go through all of that soon. But I wanted to start off first with you guys and talk about some of the bigger overlying issues facing movies these days and kind of about the Oscar telecast. What is your reaction to the diversity? Everybody's all excited this year about the diversity. But like I said to Greg, I feel like it has to be a sustained effort moving forward. Michelle, let's start with you. What did you think of the whole thing? A couple of years ago, there were protests, Oscars So White. What are your thoughts?
I'm glad that there's more diversity. I feel like there's a lot of backlash whenever diverse people, get nominated. They're people will be like, oh, they're only getting nominated because they're so-and-so race or they're women or whatever, what have you. But I feel like, as we get more, as productions become more diverse, the films themselves are just going to be more diverse. This is just the way forward. This is what we need to have happen. And if there's going to be some pushback, I think, because the old guard is not going to be into that. And I also think when the Oscar voters are going to start getting more diverse too, because they're going to start aging out, and then new people and fresh voters are going to start coming in too. So I feel like that's also going to affect the way that which films are picked in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Academy too has put into place some requirements for next year in front of the camera and behind the camera, kind of requiring diversity in order for movies to even be nominated. Nate, what do you think of all the history that was made, of all the things that I rattled off earlier? What sticks out to you as kind of really astounding?
The thing that astounds me the most is the female directors, right? Seeing two females get nominated for Best Director. And honestly, I think they could have even squeaked in some more. I think Regina King for One Night in Miami was rightfully snubbed. But it's always been a guy's party. That's kind of always been the commentary around the Best Director category. And it looks like, we'll get into predictions a little later in the program, but it does look like this is going to be the year that we are going to see, finally, probably only the second woman in Oscars history, obviously behind Catherine Bigelow, who won Best Director for The Hurt Locker back in 2010. So it'll be only the second time in history that happens, and that is something to celebrate. Also want to point out, you had all those stats on the screen, but one of the shorts this year, Feeling Through, is noteworthy because it was the first adaptation of the first film. I know it's a short film, but it's a film feature an actor who is both blind and deaf, which I think that's also something that deserves to be celebrated. Hopefully this is the most inclusive year, I think, in recent memory for the Oscars, right? I think that's important. And I go down the list, and it's also the first year where any one of these nominees could win, and I don't think that I would be terribly upset. I know, Tom, you have some mixed feelings about Mank. I understand. But I look at the Best Picture nominees, and I think I could generally be happy with whichever one winning. There are obviously my heart picks, and we'll get into that a little later. And obviously Viola Davis, she very well could win the Best Actress category. Is a total toss-up. She would have 2 Oscars, and that's African-American woman. She's a force of nature. That's great. I think it's so refreshing, and I hope that this is the start of a trend and not just an exception to the rule.
Let's talk too about just the movie industry. A year ago, everything was shut down. Nobody knows what was happening. A year later, the movie industry is still not all the way back, but the future looks bright. We saw our friend Vin Diesel at the beginning of this broadcast telling us that, we're going back to the movies soon. They're very confident that movie is going to come out in June in theaters.
I think it is.
So, yeah. What do you guys think, though? I think this is astounding, too. A couple years ago, Mudbound came out on Netflix, and it was so good. Everybody was like, why is this movie on Netflix? Good movies aren't supposed to be streaming. And this flash forward to just a couple years, and Netflix had more nominees than any other studio. They had 35.
And I think they're going to win the most. They're going to win the most tonight. They've been trying to get a Best Picture for a long time.
And isn't it weird though that if a movie goes to the theaters right now, like during this kind of middle of the pandemic, if it doesn't go to streaming and goes to the theater, you kind of think something's wrong with it.
Very true. That happened. I think when Chaos Walking, they finally were like, we're going to release this in theaters, and it came out and it was really bad. Same with the New Mutants. Like nothing. I think the only exception right now is Tenet. Tenet was the only like kind of semi-decent film that got a theatrical exclusive release, obviously back in last August. And the box office numbers, I don't know if you've seen the numbers today, but we had two movies, R-rated movies that kind of targeted the same demographics. It was Mortal Kombat, and then it was Demon Slayer, which is based on a popular anime. It was the highest grossing film in Japan. It was an import. That made the Mortal Kombat made $22 million, and Demon Slayer made $19 million. So we can already start seeing that we're on this path to recovery. And the Mortal Kombat number is all the more noteworthy because we talk about streaming. It was available to subscribers on HBO Max for free. And people value, I think this just shows that people value and cherish that big screen experience. Maybe it just depends on the type of film. Michelle, I know you went and saw Mortal Kombat in theaters. So I did. How was that like? Yeah. What was that? Yeah. Because you could have watched it at home for free, right?
Yeah, but I bought a ticket to the Dolby theater to watch it, so I get the really good sound. It was like I'll be honest, I missed it up a little bit. I haven't been in the theater. I think the last movie I saw in the theater was Invisible Man in 2020, and that came out in February, I think,
which
or
was
March.
Snubbed for a visual effects nomination.
But it was just good to be back. And I didn't like the movie, but I cherish the experience. I mean, and when I used to go to the movies all the time, I saw bad and good movies all the time in the theater, and I just enjoy theater experience. And I think people are ready to go back because I was waiting to get. I mean, theaters were kind of open sporadically in places, but I was waiting to get vaccinated to go. And I'm post my second vax. I'm fully vaccinated, so I was like, well, let's go back to the theater, and I wore a mask, and it was great. I felt safe in there. It's like, I think people are ready to start going back to things. And like you said, Mortal Kombat making $20 million when they could have watched it at home is a good sign, because that means people went. And when I went, it was very crowded for the amount of people. It was the max amount of people they could have. You know what I'm saying? The showing was sold out. Obviously it's not full capacity, but every seat that they could sell, they sold. People are ready to go back to the movies, I think.
I just think the window, Tom, too, is just going to be the big thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I had promised to not bring up Mortal Kombat on this live stream. We could do a whole nother episode on this, of course. I liked Mortal Kombat. Michelle and Nate did not. But we'll get to that in a maybe a spinoff of this Oscar preview. We'll save that for another day. But I'm glad you both had something positive to say about Mortal Kombat. Thank you for fitting that into the show. So I want to turn to the people now. Let's get interactive because I haven't done this in a little bit. So let's see what a couple of people have to say here. T397. Hello, Tom and Greg. We wish you were back at the Maple Theater. We're happy we still connect. Yes, I am too. That's great.
I think, did it look like Matthew Porter might have asked a question? I saw it was kind of flipping through. Was asking what our favorite
Matthew Porter. Or is there a question too? Let me see if I find it.
I think it asked what our favorite shorts were, animated shorts, or what we.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me get through here. I'm just going to go in order kind of because it's all blending together from all the streaming services. Yeah, let's see. Matthew Porter again here. Hopefully this level of inclusion is a trend, not an exception.
Ask us some questions.
Oh, somebody here. Here you go, Michelle. Somebody else drinking tonight. You've inspired somebody.
Well, I'll give a cheer to you later, a little air.
Yeah, Kathleen says Viola Davis.
Oh yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah was so good. And that's crazy to think that, Judas and the Black Messiah, we talk about, it's like that also came out this year, and it in the year, that's one of it's interchangeable, all the nominees, we Minari and Nomadland and The Father, just what a powerhouse lineup of nominees. It's, you could interchange a lot of them. They're all so good.
And that's what I think is maybe a good sign. I was telling somebody this earlier. People, the big gripe this year is that they feel like they didn't see these movies.
And they could watch them at
But
home. They're all
of these
readily
movies-
available.
Yeah, all of it, they're actually more available this year than in other years. And people are like, well, we got to pay for that service. Well, yeah, but you pay for a movie ticket too. I think the reason why people didn't see these movies is because they are wanting the movie theater experience. You know, they're equating like, well, I'm not going to see this because why would I watch it at home? You know, I don't get the popcorn and the candy and the whole, like, you know, communal thing. So I think that's a good sign ultimately, even though it means that people are kind of down on this year's Oscars.
And some of them, the rentals are kind of expensive. I think the premium at-home rentals, like I was looking like Minari and The Father, they're like $20 to rent right now, like Judas, and that is kind of pricey. And I think people, yeah, you're right. If I'm going to pay that kind of money, why don't I just kind of go get the big screen experience?
Yeah, I think the whole pricing tier when they try to do like, you know, watch first run movies at home, it was like $30. I was like, what in what universe are people paying $30? Like, I can understand if like you take your family to the movies, but some of us don't have kids, you know, like I pay $15 to go to movies and I see it on Dolby, and, you know, and I'm not like a big get popcorn and soda kind of person, but it's like $30 was like so ridiculous of a price to me that I just never rented anything that was that price point. And I feel like they were kind of like dipping their toe, like, how much can we make people pay for this? Like, and you know, people were so desperate for entertainment that $30 was like not a lot to them. But I was like, I'm so glad theaters are coming back because I'm not paying $30 to watch something at my house. I'm sorry, unless I own it. If I can pay $30 and like maybe that also pays for the digital copy or something, then I could maybe, you know, accept that price point. But to pay $30 for a thing I don't even own, it just seems ridiculous to me.
I think it's going to become the new norm too.
I know, but it's like, what, $30 so expensive?
yeah. Disney.
I do miss. I miss seeing you guys in the press screenings and like a Mortal Kombat movie where you guys would instantly be like, well, that sucked. And then I would like sneak out to my car and like go home and write my positive review and like not have to talk about it.
That is fun to kind of to disperse and just to see, you know, what's everyone going to think about it.
Yeah.
You can kind of read the room. I think I remember being in the Cats screening and just all around us, you could just kind of feel, we're going on this journey. We're going on this journey together.
The evil electricity of Cats was in the air.
Yeah. I remember watching a movie. If you guys remember a movie called Blue Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
And the late, great Corey Hall, who passed away last year, Detroit film critic, friend of mine, fabulous critic. I loved Blue Valentine, and I was like breathless, and like it ended, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, wow, that was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And instantly, as I had that thought, I hear Corey belt out, boy, that was a piece of shit. So I was like, oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to like this movie, and I leave it. Sorry about the language for those kids that are watching. But let's take a quick break, guys. I think people tune in to talk Oscars and listen to Oscar Talk, so we're going to get into our predictions in just a second. But as we normally do, we do have a couple sponsors of our show, and I'm going to run that real quick. And when we get back from the sponsor break, we will talk Oscars with Michelle Kisner, the movie sleuth. I'm not going to mention the rest of the name of it. And Nate Adams, the only critic. All right.
So I am at the Maple Theater right now. Right behind me to my right, you can walk through the doors and go straight over to Comos. Something that people don't know is that Peas and Carrots Hospitality took it over about 2 years ago when they reopened. And the Detroit style pizza that we serve now is a signature of ours that they did not have before. So it is a new and improved Comos. If they want to find us on social media, our Instagram is at Comos Restaurant. Our Facebook is Comos Ferndale. It is both Comos Ferndale and Comos Bloomfield. They can find us at comosrestaurant.com. They can also download our Comos app or text the number 33733 and they will receive a link to download the app, and they get 20% off their first purchase.
How would you like to see the city of Detroit like you've never seen it before? On Russell Brothers City Tours, we take you to the places that you know, but the fun part is we take you to places that you probably don't know. Hi, I'm Greg Russell of Russell Brothers City Tours. Come on, let's get on board and take a tour of the city of Detroit. Where Russell Brothers City Tours started was actually in the winter of 2017. My wife and I and our daughter and her husband were at an event downtown Detroit. So when heading back home, I always ask, can I take the scenic route, which means just going Woodward straight north. Normally, my wife would always say, just take the freeway. But this time I think it was my holiday gift, so she said, go ahead and take your scenic route. So as we're going up Woodward, I'm pointing out certain places and certain things, what they used to be, what used to be here, what happened in certain things. And my daughter was going, Pop, you know so much about the city, why don't you just give a tour? And it made me think, you know what, that's a good idea. So I got home and I called my brother Cliff Russell, and some of you may remember Cliff. He was a guy who knew everything about the city of Detroit, was deeply involved with the community. So I called him and I told him the idea, and he said, okay, hey Greg, you put it together and I'll be there. So we were all set. We were going to do it in 2018. Well, unfortunately, in February of 2018, my brother Cliff passed away from a heart attack. And it was devastating to our family, but it made me think even more about doing this tour. And that's why it's still called Russell Brothers City Tours. It is my tribute and my honor to my brother. So when I go around town, I tell people all about the places here and even talk about some of the stuff that Cliff did in the community. People sometimes ask, what's the difference between our company as compared to other tour companies? Well, one thing that we like to do is show you stuff that we're pretty sure you probably never have seen or heard of in the city of Detroit. Also, we let you at times customize your own tour. There might be some particular things that you want to see, where we don't just say, okay, no, we're stuck to our schedule and our thing. You want to go see something, we will take you to see it. We'd love to hear from you. Just give us a call, 313-399-0683, or go to our website, Russell Brothers City Tours, or on all social media. Come on, we'd love to take you for a ride.
Here we go. What's up?
Hello.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys in on a technical thing. So it's supposed to be on the one side of your screen right there, I'm supposed to be able to see all of our comments as they feed in. But that's not working right now. So we're just going to keep moving, and I'm going to just mention comment by comment and try to pick some out. But the good news is I can't keep up with all the comments on Facebook and YouTube, so that's good. That's a good thing. So
we got some people engaged. It's fun. Everyone's looking like they're having a good time.
Here's a question for you, Nate.
Snyder's got the cats.
Snyder's got the. What would that even? Are you talking about the butthole cut?
Yeah,
because that was the rumor. That was a rumor. Because they had to trim all the cats, bottoms out because
that was
it was showing.
Job. Somebody was looking for buttholes for like 3 weeks and digitally removing them.
Sounds like a whole nother live stream. We have two live streams in the can that we can talk about later. All right, man. So Angie Thompson said what everybody's thinking. Let's hear some predictions. I want to sorry about this graphic that goes over your face here, Nate, but I want to let people know.
I'm like Mike Wazowski in Monsters Inc., where he always has the thing that's blocking him out.
Yeah. So whenever I don't like your prediction, I might just pop this on the screen for people to sign up to our e-newsletter.
Please.
You can scan that with your camera on your phones, and you can go to Movie Show Plus. Signing up for the newsletter makes you eligible for the prizes that we're going to give away at the end. Again, we're going to give away some movies, and we're going to give away a gift card from the Maple Theater. So there's lots of fun stuff coming. Stick around for all that at the end of the show. And Nate, just get taller or go to the right, I guess, or whatever. That's fine.
Where's it at?
We'll deal with that. We're all friends here. Okay, so again, the Oscars guys coming up tonight. Let's get to it. We're just gonna rattle through category by category and see what happens. So let's, without further ado, let me get a couple things set here. Oscar noms coming at you. Let's start with supporting actress. Any thoughts?
Well, I think it's gonna be.
That's fine,
it's a tough category. This, I mean, for a while it looked like that this was going to be swinging one way, and then over as of late, it seems like it's heading towards the Minari train. Although I guess you can't count out Glenn Close, right? She's up there but it'd more be less if she wins this. I think it would be her due Oscar because she got a couple years ago. Olivia Colman beat beat around the favorite. Glenn Close was the heavy favorite for The Wife. But I like Maria Bakalova too for Borat's subsequent movie film. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm in Yang Zhang. Is it, how do you say her name? Yo Jung Yun? Is that how you say it?
Yu Jung Yoon.
Yu Jung Yun. Yeah. I think she's got this in the bag for Minari, but yeah.
I think she might.
Michelle,
pick
your
that up.
thoughts?
Didn't Glenn Close get nominated for like a Razzie too for that role?
It did. Does
that happen a lot where you get a Razzie and an Oscar nom? Like, wow.
I know
I think
Sandra
it's happened
Bullock
before, but it's a
was
rare
nominated for
feat.
different movies. Yeah.
I think it's rarer than like even getting an EGOT.
Glenn Close is the best part of that movie. I did not like Hillbilly Elegy whatsoever. It's not a great film, but Glenn Close is the best thing in that film. She's worthy of the nomination. If she wins, it wouldn't be the worst thing because, like I said, she's had a crazy career, and it's almost criminal that she has never been recognized. But it's just going to be, I think it's going to be too hard to overcome that Minari hump. But that's just me. Amanda Seyfried just happy to be in the room.
Yeah, I would love to see Maria Bakalova win it, just because she was.
She could.
She was just a weird breakthrough in that film. Like it was just weird as she popped up and she was like the best thing in the movie, and she has like charisma for days. She's quick on her feet. I mean, I don't know if people would like it as much because I guess a lot of Borat it's written, but a lot of it is them ad-libbing and doing stuff like on it live basically. But she's so she has a character arc, and she's just fantastic in it. She was just really endearing, and it's weird to say somebody's endearing in Borat because that's kind of not what Borat's
and it's a good story too. It's a good story how she came on, and it's almost similar to a couple years ago when Barkat Abdi was nominated for Captain Phillips when he was the Somalian drug. It's like they plucked these people, like she was part of a search, and it's like these crazy stories, and now look, they're riding the train all the way to the Oscars. So,
I'd like to see her win, maybe just out of nowhere. I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to throw a plug at myself real quick here on the screen. In depth, if people want more of my picks and my predictions, they can go to movieshowplus.com and check them all out. I'm going to kind of obviously be giving my opinion, but I'm going to leave most of the room here to Michelle and Nate to talk this all out. One thing I'll add about that supporting actress category, though, is a lot of people don't know is that Yu Jung Yoon is actually like the Meryl Streep of her country. She's been like a renowned actress for a long, long time, and she's just kind of new to American audiences. So she kind of has the resume to get the recognition. However, I also would love Maria Bakalova just because I'd love to see the title of that film printed on an Oscar.
And somebody have to say it. I hope they say the whole thing every time. It comes up.
Yeah,
I think they have to. I think they have to because it is the name
I
of the
wonder if
film.
he did that on purpose because he knew if something got nominated, they would have to say this ridiculously long title.
Yeah,
that would be sweet. Let's see. Okay, let's just keep moving on, boys and girls. Let's see. Supporting actor.
Well, this is a no-brainer. It's Daniel.
What's the scuttlebutt
It's Daniel
here?
Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah. I don't think anyone's even close.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah,
although, go ahead.
Yeah, all of these are great. And Lakeith Stanfield too is not getting enough love, I think, this year.
Shocking nomination.
I remember the movie. Yeah, a couple years ago, there was a movie, The Kids Are All Right, with Annette Bening and Juliette. What's her name? Julie. You guys help me out. Julianne Moore. There we go. Julianne Moore and Annette Bening. Annette Bening won the Oscar, and her role was a lot more like scene chewing. And Daniel Kaluuya was amazing, but I thought Lakeith Stanfield had maybe like the more layered performance in the film, even.
The less showy.
But I think that all of these guys are great.
Now the question becomes: this is the kind of thing that I picked up in my predictions? Does Lakeith and Daniel do they split the voting, right? And if that happens, which it's very likely that it won't, but the next one, I think if you're picking a spoiler, as much as I love Paul Raci and Sound of Metal, like happy that he got nominated. I think if we were in any other year where movies were regular, like we were in a pandemic and movies were regularly coming out, I'm not sure he gets in here. So I'm just happy to see that he gets the Oscar nomination. I mean, obviously I can't speak to what would have come out, but I'm just saying that that's a great nomination for him. But if we're talking like a spoiler, it's Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, as playing Abby Hoffman in Trial of the Chicago 7, just because he's got the Borat appeal because he's nominated twice for screenplay in this. So if Daniel, for whatever reason, doesn't the victory here, I think it goes to Cohen, but that's a long shot.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. So I think we're all saying Sasha there. Let's get into the writing categories. There's that title again with like 60 people.
That must have drove you nuts making these graphics.
Screenplay.
Trying to fit that in there.
Yeah, I know, right? What do you guys think for adapted screenplay?
I have Nomadland. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 1, 2, 3, Nomadland. Everybody.
Well, The Father is based on a play, right? So that's a spoiler, kind of.
So is One Night in Miami.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
of course, yeah, One Night in Miami, yeah. But turning
And,
One Night in
The
Miami
White Tiger
is
was a
the
surprise in this category. I
yeah.
thought that was a really good movie. And it's a really big surprise that it was included here. But yeah, Nomadland, Chloe Zhao, that's the clear front runner. Let's keep plowing along here. We got original screenplay. Front runner here, I will say, I'll start it off this time. I think Promising Young Woman is mainly, if they're gonna award this film, I think it's gonna be in this category.
Agreed.
Yeah, I feel like if this was a normal year, Promising Young Woman might not have made it in. But I think that because everybody was streaming everything at home, some stuff snuck in that people would be like, oh, I'll watch that. And Promising Young Woman to me is like this really feather ruffling, like it has like the most divisive reaction to it. It's like either love or like people hate it. And it's because I think mostly it's because of the ending, but it's just like this really, it's almost like a genre film. Like, I don't know how many times a rape revenge film would get, nominated for Oscars. It's very, it's a very interesting pick for the Oscars. I love that it got nominated for as much as it did, because it's just an interesting pick. A lot of times, people, there's the whole Oscar bait, like, meme, but that movie's not an Oscar bait movie. That movie's, somebody was trying to say something when they made that, and when they wrote it, and when she directed it, somebody's trying to say something with that film, and I'm glad it's up at all. I'm glad it's nominated.
Absolutely. We move along into the animated feature film category. I'm not sure if the Academy knows this, but they don't have to vote for a Pixar movie every single year. I don't know if they're aware of that.
It was good. Soul was a good one, though. There's a lot of passion.
Soul was really good.
For Wolfwalkers. Wolfwalkers is great. A lot of passion for it. It's just Soul. Soul is going to be too much. It's the Pixar train, and I get it. Every year we have this discussion. It's always the Pixar show. Toy 4 last year was kind of like, ugh. Especially when you had like something like Netflix's I Lost My Body, like stuff that's just like so like I had this conversation with somebody earlier about animation, right? And we talk about animation in the form of, we think of it's for kids. And so there's so much that can be done with animation, and we saw it with the animated shorts, which we'll get into, but that it can be broad and it can appeal to everybody, right? I'm not saying Sausage Party was this innovative animated film that showed adult animation could be, cross our mainstream, but you get the idea. I think that Pixar doesn't always have to clean up, but it will.
Wolfwalkers is on Apple TV Plus, by the way, and I really, really strongly suggest people watch it. It's just a great movie. I thought it was a fantastic animated film. And I mean, let's be honest, I think this is overall a pretty weak year for animation. Maybe not its fault because there's the pandemic. And, as we know, there's teams of people that work in animated films. Yeah. And there are a lot that were kind of kicked out of this year.
Trolls World Tour got robbed here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we were like 1 degree of separation away from like Trolls and Cruise A New Age being Oscar-nominated films.
Hey, I mean, crazier things have happened. Wolfwalkers could totally pull up the upset. It's probably not gonna happen. But you hear, we'll see. It'll be Soul. I gotta stop.
We're gonna get into a passionate category of mine now. We're gonna get into the short film categories, and I know a lot of people were commenting earlier on the comment boards about wanting to know our opinions on the short films. So, and we'll start with the animated category, but let me just say this. I write an article every single year about the short films, like not just reviewing what they come out, but like urging people to take them seriously, urging people to go see them at the theater. They are still playing at the Maple Theater. Happens to be our sponsor, but that's not why I'm talking about it. They're still playing there even all through next week. So even after the Oscars, I think it's a good night out at the movies to go see the Oscar shorts. So many times these movies are like the best of the batch of all the films, like the longies. What do you call a long movie?
Winded.
They often are. Yeah, exactly. But this year's batch is no different. Nate, I know that you just told me you saw them
Today.
I
caught up today before we went on. I watched all the shorts, not the documentary shorts, but I watched the short films and the live action short films. What's funny is that when I made my predictions at the beginning of the week, I was going with Burrow because I had seen Burrow. It's a Pixar short, and obviously we just had this conversation about betting on Pixar. I think if I had to go back and rechange, if I'm talking about preference, my preference is opera. Why'd I say? I said Oprah. Opera. Is that right? Oprah. Is that right?
Yeah, it's not a film about Oprah.
Yeah.
Clear.
And it's it's from South Korea in the USA, and that I watched it twice because Tom, as you know, the intricacies and everything that goes on in that, there's so much happening in the frames, and that they were able to
it's amazing. And let me say, I don't claim to understand it, so maybe it is about Oprah.
I think there's a lot about the shorts in general. Each of them are tackling things like police brutality, immigration, school shootings, and that not just in the live action and the best picture nominees too. That's also pouring over into the animated shorts too. But I think if I like I said, I picked Burrow in my initial predictions just because it's a cute, friendly Oscar films. But I bet they go with If Anything Happens, I Love You, which is just an emotionally obliterating fit. Like if you if you have children, if you feel for the stuff and the political issues that are going on in this country, it's like what a it just hits you. Really, really profound. But Oprah is definitely my favorite.
Fabulous. Oprah. And it's directed by Eric O. From the magazine. O Magazine.
Nice.
So just kidding. So live action short film. This one, Nate, before I blurt out my love for one of these in particular, which one of these stood out to you?
If the best one of the bunch for me is Feeling Through, which I talked about earlier, about the first film to feature a blind and deaf performer. It compacts a lot, I thought that was just very powerful in the story of homelessness and finding your way in the world. Oscar Isaac shows up in the letter room, which is that was pretty good. Do you want to give my prediction or do you want to hold off? I can say what I think is going to win.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. I think Two Distant Strangers probably has this by a mile. I could be wrong just because of the subject matter, which is it's a Groundhog Day spin, but on the Black experience with police officers and obviously everything going on. We had just had the George Floyd verdict last week in that trial. We talk about BBC Breonna Taylor, and it's about this young black man who is experiencing the same interaction with a cop. He runs into him every day, or he dies. He gets killed by the police officer, and then he keeps reliving the same scenario over and over until he tries to figure out a way to get out of it, and the cycle just keeps repeating. And it's just replicative of what's happening today in society, right? Because we're seeing all these unarmed black men being gunned down and stuff like that. And so I
was going to say, not only is it obviously timely and important, but it also, to me, is kind of the beauty of the short film genre, which is it's about it's almost like it's about a thing. It doesn't have to worry about things like plot or arc one, act one, act two, act three. it can just
Right,
be about
right.
something and then it's over, and you don't leave it like, well, I didn't get to know the second character in that one scene, like
Right.
nobody cares. And this movie is so pointed and so creative.
It's also on Netflix too.
But
so.
again, yeah, it's on Netflix, so it's everybody can see it. All of these though are very good.
What you got
And
winning,
then am I the
Tom?
only one who saw the documentary shorts? Oh, who
I
do I have
believe
winning
so.
there? Two Distant Strangers, I think is for me. I would be shocked if it didn't win.
Fair enough.
Documentary short subject. I saw all these. They're all great. Again, as I keep pouring my love into this category, I would pick, though, if you're filling out your Oscar card, Do Not Split. It's about what's going on in Hong Kong right now, and it's just an absolutely fabulous. If there's another winner in this category, it's A Love Song for Latasha. All of these great, but again, those two in particular are more like the timely ones, the ones that are important to issues that are going on right now, and worth watching. Okay, now let's not take too long in these technical categories. They're all important, and I love them all, and I probably could talk an hour on each one of them. But just very quickly, guys, shout out who you guys maybe who you would think will win and who you might want win.
Give me a Mank all day.
Nomadland for sure.
Nomadland probably will.
Nomadland
win,
for
but
me as well.
Yeah. I actually wasn't as entranced by Mank's look. It's kind of like, everybody was like very into like how it looked old, but it just seemed kind of like, I don't know, too like in your face about it, I guess. Like it's aware of itself as, I don't know. I know my land is just so natural looking and beautiful. And it's also like shot on digital too. So, people are all kind of like not into digital stuff, but Nomadland is a good case for digital cinematography can look beautiful.
There you go. Costume design. Real quick. I think, by the way, I said Nomadland in the last category as well. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is going to win this for me. Not only is it the coolest costume design, but Anne Roth is 89-year-old. At 89 years old, she is oldest Oscar nominee in any category. She won before for The English Patient. I think she's the front runner. Anybody else change my mind?
Oh, that's who I picked too.
It's Ma Rainey's. I think Ma Rainey has a good chance of winning 3 of its 4 nominations, which would be a record for a film without a Best Picture nomination.
Interesting. There you go. Okay, film editing. Anybody have a pick here?
Sound.
I have Chicago 7, but I think it probably will be it might be Nomadland again. I mean, the Ace Eddie Awards signal Chicago 7. Can I just throw a fun fact in here? No Best Picture. There's never a Best Picture winner that wasn't nominated for film editing. So film editing is actually a very, very huge category for it could be predicative of what happens for Best Picture. If Chicago 7 wins here, don't count it out for Best Picture.
Nate's dropping all kinds of Oscar knowledge on us. I love it.
Film editing is huge.
I would pick Sound of Metal there as well.
Oh, we got a rival.
Makeup and hairstyling.
Ma Rainey.
Yeah.
Ma Rainey for me as well.
I mean, Hillbilly
original
had some
score.
pretty interesting stuff though, like makeup wise. I mean, they really made people look different in that for sure. I think it might might sneak in a win. I think Hillbilly Elegy might sneak in a win there just because it's so transformative of the characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Glenn Close for one.
Mm-hmm.
The Razzie and Oscar nominee. Original score. I get mad when I look at this category because it's the only nomination for Defy Bloods.
It has a beautiful score though, and that's actually
and
somebody Spike Lee works with a lot too.
Justice for Delroy Lindo.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Delroy Lindo. And don't get me started on Ellen Burstyn. Soul, though, if you guys are reading the screen here, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross nominated twice. But you add in the superb piano of John Baptiste, and this is Soul through and through, right?
So
Yeah, it's Soul.
absolutely beautiful score, absolutely beautiful. And it's interesting because it's two completely different kinds of music that somehow come together in a synergy, in a complete kind of whole. Just gorgeous.
Let's see. We got a Terrence Blanchard fan out there.
It's a good score. It's beautiful. I actually had it
Throwing
on.
that up
I
on the
have it on
screen.
quite a bit on my Spotify as just background music when I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, I thought that movie was underappreciated, but
Yeah, I
again,
thought
there's our
fantastic.
third extra podcast we can do. All right, original song. I personally I'm hoping the Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga, does not
Yes.
become the Oscar-winning Eurovision Song Contest. The
No,
Story of
yes,
Fire
we
Saga.
do. We want Eurovision Song Contest. That is my pick. I'm going on the Eurovision Song train all the way. I'm gunning for this upset. You have no idea.
Michelle, what say you?
I don't know I think maybe Fight for You. So it's
Okay,
got
okay.
It's like a weird kind of collection of stuff here, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. I like Speak Now, and only because I think Leslie Odom Jr. has a real shot of winning an EGOT in his lifetime, which would be like a Tony. Everybody knows is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. It's like the highest, achievement you can have. And I think this is his road to an Oscar. He's already got a Tony.
I think The Plant by Travis Scott, which was in Tenet, was robbed here. And I also think What a Life from Another Round. I don't know why that song couldn't be not. There was some technicality. But if you've seen Another Round, the end of the film, we're allowed jumping around, just having a good time. That song, like, why isn't this song here? I don't know.
We'll get to Another Round in a little bit here. I'm sure that'll come up when we get the international feature. But what's next? We got production and design.
Tenet.
Oh, I'm going with Mank here, but I want, like, the Father's production design is so good, especially after rewatching it yesterday. Parts of it, seeing like when you can stay restrained to one apartment, like one location, that really helps because you can really find out the details. Like every frame of the Father, there's something to look at on the walls. There's the bases, there's stuff like that. But Mank's gonna be tough. I think Mank's gonna be tough to beat.
And there's subtle differences in the production design of the Father between shots and stuff like that. That I think
because of
really
his
adds to the whole feel of it.
Right.
I still feel though that a lot of times a movie will kind of ride the wave of popularity in other categories, and I think that movie this year might be Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So I really feel like it could win a lot of these technical awards, and I would pick that for production.
Right.
We're gonna pause for 1 second to go back to our people to listen out there. Five Bloods was such a great movie. What a shame it didn't get more love. We got some Soul fans out there. Soul is a wonderful score. John Baptiste, outstanding. Will Ferrell needs an Oscar for something. Matthew Porter is going to get an Oscar for the most comments during our live stream. Eurovision, love it.
We want Eurovision.
Danielle again, EGOT. We're fans of Odom Jr. And
Matthew thinks Leslie Odom's gonna win.
Good point about the Father. It was a really good movie.
Good, keep it coming.
All right,
guys.
so
Everyone's engaged. I love it.
Yeah, thanks, everybody for paying attention. We're going a little over, but I promise we will get you out of here before 6:30 for sure. And we have prize giveaways coming up still. You guys both okay, Michelle and Nate? You guys don't have to run?
No, all great. Keep it going.
Okay, we're good. So we get into sound. Now, interesting here, we don't have to go through the explanation anymore of the difference between sound editing and sound mixing, as they finally combined the category.
A lot of them overlapped. It was always the same movie, it felt like.
They're like, did you like sound or not?
Yeah, exactly. This one has the word sound in the title.
Yeah,
It's
Sound of
Sound of
Metal's
Metal.
gonna
That
get
doesn't
it.
win for
No question.
yeah, unbelievable.
But if Soul
It's a great
pulled an
movie, by the way.
upset, wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And also, can I just tidbit
yeah,
here?
good
The sound with Mank. I mean, because he really, David Fincher talked about it. Like they made the film with the sound mix, and then they sent it back through like 3 or 4 times to kind of muffle it, and they like recorded it in a theater, and then they mixed that into it because they wanted to have that feel of like the 1930s, 1940s.
Isn't it like faux mono? Like
yeah, yep. Thank you. I couldn't think of the term. That's perfect. But it will be sound of metal.
Yeah.
We can appreciate. We love the sound crafts. We're appreciating all of them.
Sorry, I was just laughing at some of the comments again that were coming through. I love that people are passionate about the sound category.
I love it. Keep it coming, please.
Yeah, and again, people feel free to ask questions too. If
I like Tenet.
Why didn't Michelle or Nate like Mortal Kombat? We can get to that again later.
We go her review is up at Spoiler Movie Sleuth, and mine's at The Only Critic. You can go read our grievances.
Yes.
There you go. Please do that. Just for that, Nate, I'm going to flash your graphic up, followed by Michelle's.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat, all on there.
And visual effects. Okay, there's Michelle's stuff.
Yeah, Tenet.
I think it's Tenet.
I didn't like Tenet like that much, but
I'm
like
the only one.
the way it's made, like the actual visual effects are absolutely outstanding in it. Like if the story wasn't the most convoluted thing that's ever existed on planet Earth, if you like just turn the sound off and watch what's happening, the visuals are fantastic. And
they crashed a plane into a building. Like
it was like a for reals plane, and all the backwards and forward stuff was filmed
real.
so intricately and like fantastic. It's too bad the script was like better, but
also shout out to Love and Monsters in this category. Great film with Dylan O'Brien that came out earlier in the year. I'm so happy to see. I was like such a surprise nomination that nobody had on their radar. So always happy to see a movie that you kind of like, you appreciate. But I want to make the case. So Tenet, like we love Tenet. I do. You don't. I love Tenet as overall. But I think most of this film was practical. So the visual effects artists give Tenet the nod here because most of it is practical. Because Chris Nolan doesn't like to work. He said that there was about as much visual effects in this film as like the average rom-com. So I don't know. I could see it not winning like maybe Midnight Sky from Behind or something. I don't know. But Oscar.
This is where they like to stick genre films too. Like most times genre films only get one nom, and it's like the visual effects.
Oscar nominated the one and only Ivan though.
I was just gonna say, for every Love and Monsters, they gotta go with the one and only Ivan. Just to
Suicide Squad has won an Oscar. Let's just get it out there.
I think that Michelle hit it on the head though. Like Tenet, even though people who didn't love it, Nate,
I know you can appreciate the craft.
Everybody kind of respected it for its visual effects, and so I think that it would be I would be shocked if Tenet didn't win in this category.
Yeah. There was once upon a time Tenet could have been nominated for Best Picture, but that ship sailed. Or did it go backwards?
Let's see here. We had a question. I'm gonna pull up a question from a viewer, guys. Now again, let's keep this limited. I know we could probably go on for 20 minutes on Mank. Real quick, visual, thumb up or thumb down on Mank?
Oh, just me. Oh, hello. Welcome to party. Thank you, Diane. I'm with you.
I didn't hate.
I'm a big Fincher guy.
But I didn't
love
really
Fincher.
love it. I found it a little bit pretentious.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like pretentious. Like it was just like
I thought it was a love letter to because David Fincher's late father wrote the script. I thought it was a lot of that.
I love David Fincher, but
I love Citizen Kane.
Was boring, and I just didn't. And I love old Hollywood. Like it's all the things I like, but it just the execution of it I wasn't a fan of.
A lot of my friends didn't love it either, so I'm alone.
Well, let's keep moving along. Thank you for the question, though. Again, it was good. Something about Mank getting 10 noms though, and Defy Bloods getting 0 or 1.
Netflix always pushes the wrong films. This year, Chicago. I like Chicago 7. Say what you will, but yeah, they put all their eggs in the certain baskets while not pushing. Like obviously, Defy Bloods was a winner, so I don't know. I agree.
Moving into this category, what used to be best foreign film and now international feature film. Real quick, I'll say this is a rarity. Collective, which is a documentary, is up for best documentary and international feature, which is very rare. What I think the front runner here is Another Round.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
reason we know that is because its director, Thomas Vinterberg, got a absolutely shocking Best Director nomination.
Surprise.
Not shocking because it wasn't a great directing performance, but because nobody expected it.
Right. Another Round's great. Yeah, it's very noteworthy that happened. You're right. Thomas Vinterberg getting in there. A lot of love for this film, and I think you're right. A lot of that's gonna bleed into the international feature film category, and I think it should handily win.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What a life. And also,
Matthew
we're just
Porter's
mad.
getting worked up on the comments.
What's he doing now?
He says justice for the Five Bloods. I agree, man.
Mads Mikkelsen too. We're living in his world. He's doing a lot right now. I'm here for it.
I second that. So you go into documentary feature. This is an interesting category. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts.
I like Time the most out of all of these. It was just the most emotional one. I also liked My Octopus Teacher, but Time to me is the one that stood out of these for me.
Yeah, Time's good. I think Time has a good chance of winning. I'm picking My Octopus Teacher because I've never seen a doc that made me so connect with an aquatic creature on this level. Like I was like, I don't know about you guys, I was like sobbing at the end of it. It's like, why am I crying about this octopus?
Because octopus, they're cute.
Yeah, Mole Agent.
Yeah.
Mole Agent was kind of slow. I was expecting one thing, and I came out with another. Like I thought it was going to be this expose on this, senior citizen home, and then it kind of just, I don't know. It felt slow to me. Obviously, Crip Camp's got the Obama pedigree to it because they were produced by the Obamas, and then of course we talked about Collective, and of Crip Camp obviously is a very inclusive documentary about this camp that focus on folks with disabilities. So it's a very wholesome message in that. I think it has a lot more love than we're giving it credit for. And then Collective is obviously, like you said, 2 nominations. So Collective could seemingly pull an upset here too. But I got My Octopus Teacher.
The Octopus Teacher for me was surprising because I don't go around thinking that I like marine biology per se, but like it was fascinating. I think this year in particular, with what's going on in the world, that's why I kind of agree that Time might be the one that wins here. It's just more in our lives. The Octopus Teacher is kind of cool and fun, but it's not really changing anybody's life. Time is in a really important movie. Collective is really important to what's going on right now, and that's my pick is Time.
Nice.
We only got a couple more, guys. We're on to the big ones, and then we're almost close to giving away some stuff. Lead actor. Is anybody going to beat Chadwick?
Yes, somebody could. I'm not predicting it. Very big Chadwick Boseman in this category, and I don't know. I heard some chatter recently that he was only getting the kind of love that he was getting because of obviously his untimely death from colon cancer back last summer. But I think out of these nominees, I think he would have still won if he's still alive. I mean, if you see that film, he is more the central character than Ma Rainey is, and he just crushes and obliterates every scene. Like I don't mean this to sound like he performed it as if it was his last role, and I think he left it all on the screen. And but you can't count on Anthony Hopkins, and I'll tell you why. Because he's 83 years old. He's got a lot of love from the Academy, of great career that he's had. And I was reading a bunch of Hollywood Reporter does these things where they review these brutally honest ballots, or like people they like do all these things where they reveal anonymously who voted for what. And I was reading a bunch of people, they were like, well, Chadwick's going to win, so I'm going to vote for Anthony Hopkins. And I said to myself, this is exactly how Anthony Hopkins wins, because everybody else thinks they're going to vote for Chadwick, but everybody secretly votes for Anthony Hopkins. So I actually think this is a lot tighter race than we think. And I think if we saw the numbers after the show was over, it's going to be close. I think Boseman has the edge of the poignancy and obviously the emotional resonance. I think it's too much to overcome, but Hopkins is a very, very close second.
Michelle?
Yeah, I think Anthony Hopkins, Chadwick Boseman, and Riz Ahmed, I think, are the 3 Riz could actually pull out maybe like a surprise win, because I just think his performance is great in that film. It's very, and like you were saying, somebody was saying earlier, like he did a lot of prep work for it, and he's believable to me in that role. I of course I'm not deaf, but he just, you know, he's believable as like a person that's like, you know, he reacts the way I feel like a lot of people would react to losing a sense, like angry, you know, and upset, and he's just like, he's just searing on the screen. Like every time he's on it, it's very believable, emotional.
Yeah, and in Riz Ahmed, just one Independent Spirit.
Yeah, so
which
that
is
gets
the last
upset too.
Big award show before the Oscars. It kind of gave him some momentum out of nowhere. This is really, I mean,
It's a strong category.
talk about, like, I'm not big on Mank because I didn't love the film, but, you know, it got a ton of nominations. And another guy who's loved by the Academy is Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. The outside kind of dark horse here for me in this category is Stephen Yeun, who I love. And he's, you know, again, a Troy, Michigan native.
First Asian American Best Actor nominee. Yes.
He's good. He's good in Minari. It's just Minari is a very delicate kind of low key film, and it's a very delicate low key performance that I think might not be flashy enough to maybe like overtake any of these other you know, roles.
Absolutely, great point. Yeah, the Academy tends to go with those big, flashy performances, and that is not Minari. Actress in a leading role.
Good luck. Flip a coin. Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
I want to see Carey Mulligan get it. Just because
me too.
Mad.
That's what I'm. Yes. I'm predicting Carey Mulligan too, but it is a toss up. Every precursor award, the BAFTAs, the SAG, obviously the Globes went with Andrea Day, the SAGs went with Viola Davis, the BAFTAs went for Frances McDormand, and Carey Mulligan won a Independent Spirit, and she won the Critics' Choice. But poor Vanessa Kirby. Vanessa Kirby was the best performance of the year for me in Pieces of Woman, and she's just coming up empty-handed this season. So maybe because they feel bad, the awards bodies, that she didn't win, that they'll just give her the Oscar. I love Pieces of Woman. I can't champion Pieces of Woman enough. But it's the SAGs are the most indicative of, I think, of what's going to win. And so everyone's kind of got Viola Davis, but then Nomadland is so loved with all its path. But I'm with you, Michelle. I want Carey Mulligan to win.
I'm going to pick Viola Davis would be my pick.
That's a good one.
To win. But I agree with you, Nate. Actually, Vanessa Kirby here to me, and Carey Mulligan, but Vanessa Kirby especially. Pieces of a Woman is one of the hardest to watch movies maybe of the year for sure.
Yes.
It gave Nightingale a run for its money. Nobody saw Nightingale last year, but that movie, the first 20 minutes was
brutal.
Like unwatchably brutal, but like powerful. But Carey Mulligan, when I saw her in Promising a Woman, I'm like, dude, nobody's going to beat her.
Right.
And then I saw Pieces of a Woman and I'm like, oh my God, Vanessa Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, Viola is Viola. She's amazing. It takes nothing away from Andra Day or Frances McDormand, but I just think Viola Davis, it's kind of her time, and she's kind of put in her time over her career to get to this point. So I think she'd get 2 Oscars. Yeah, because she won for Fences a couple years ago, which really that was with an asterisk, right? Because Fences, she was pushed in supporting, but she was definitely the lead actress. Like if you were you know, but that we can talk about category fraud another day. Directing, we are here at the directing category. What do you guys think? It's pretty clear. I think this is maybe one of the clearer things of the night.
I think Chloe Zhao, yeah.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao for sure is going to win here. She'll become the second woman, the first woman of color.
Like you can't even predict a spoiler. This is a sure thing. This is as sure as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's the big one, guys. What's your pick? Let's hear them.
I think Nomadland is probably gonna win, to be honest. It's like overall, like all the elements combined, it's just the kind of picture that normally wins Best Picture. I don't think Promising Young Woman's gonna win Best Picture. It's too provocative, to be honest. Maybe Mank
Okay,
might
yeah,
pull up
yeah.
like what's the one movie that Green Book? It might pull a Green Book, or it's
Oh.
like
See, I
everybody's
think the
like,
Green
"What?"
Book this year would be Chicago 7. I mean, if you're comparing,
Yeah.
I don't think Chicago 7 is as bad as Green Book, but I'm going against the grain. It's not going to happen. You guys are right. Nomadland's probably going to win, but I'm going to make the case for Chicago 7. Okay. I'm predicting Chicago 7. It probably doesn't have a chance, like I said. But you talked about it earlier, Tom. There's always a front runner that can be derailed at the finish line, right? We saw it with La La
Yes.
Land and Moonlight. La La Land swept the award season. It won everything, got to Best Picture, lost to Moonlight. Now the argument is that is there a Moonlight waiting in the wings that had a beloved fan base, right? Like last year, 1917 was also riding the same wave. Then Parasite won the SAG, and then Parasite coasted into the Best Picture win because of that goodwill. So don't count out that. I mean, Chicago 7 is it's a big flashy film from a big filmmaker. He's not a writer, Aaron Sorkin, and it's kind of got that pedigree. It's very accessible. Nomadland has some very slow parts to it. I know a lot of people have. I mean, it is. There is some parts in that film you watch, and it's kind of like you feel like it's dragging.
It's a little art house.
Right. And I think Chicago 7 in that respect is more accessible because it's a bigger film. And plus, what is the meaning of a Best Picture, right? And I think it's reflective of the current state and everything that's going on. All these films fit the bill. So if one of them win, obviously my heart wants Minari, but like you said, it's not going to happen. But it'll probably be Nomadland. I'm hedging my bets on a Chicago 7 upset. And anything else will be just happy to be in the room.
If I was in the Academy myself, picking from these movies, I would vote for The Father.
That'd be your number one, right?
Just thought it was, that would be my number one movie. And but I think Nomadland is going to take this.
Well, and
again,
also
the only reason it wouldn't is because it's the front runner.
Well, that too, but we didn't really talk about preferential balloting, but really every Academy member votes, 1 through 9, and then progressively they keep taking movies off until they get down to like the final 2, and then they vote again, and then that's what's the winner. You have to get 51% of the vote. So Chicago 7 doesn't need to, for my pick, I'm saying everybody else doesn't need to be number 1 slots. Like if everyone puts Nomadland in their number 1 slots, but enough people put Chicago 7 in their 2, 3, and 4 slots. Suddenly, that is what you need. Like Chicago 7 doesn't need to be number 1 on everybody's ballot. It just needs to have those 2, 3, or 4 spots. And then eventually, once things get siphoning off, that's its path to victory. For me, my prediction. I could be all wrong, and Minari comes out of nowhere and wins this. So
I wouldn't be mad if Minari wins.
No, I'd be very happy. I think Promising Young Woman, Michelle, though, I think you should I think that don't count it out because it has the coveted nominations. There's 5 nominees that are like crucial for any Best Picture winner, which is what's holding back Chicago 7. It has director, it has screenplay, it has editing, it has actors, and it has director. Those are the 5 main categories that a Best Picture nominee needs. And Chicago 7 doesn't have that. So that's also the argument against it. So it would be the first time if Chicago 7 wins. It'd be the first time since the 1930s that a movie didn't win screenplay or have a directing nomination and win Best Picture. Yeah, it's a crazy stat, and that's it makes it interesting, right? I'm excited to see an upset. I don't want to
count cards at poker or something like.
Yeah. So there's all I've done all the math.
As long as somebody doesn't pull out La La Land and then say, "Oh no, by the way, it was this other movie." Yeah, like.
Where were you? That's a where were you?
Great for Moonlight, but no movie deserves that.
No.
Guys, this was absolutely fabulous. I truly appreciate both of you being here and taking the time. I promised I'd get people out of here by 6:30. That's the only reason I want to segue into my prizes. But thank you both. I'm going to flash your stuff on the screen one more time. Michelle Kisner, film critic, spoiler-free moviesleuth.com.
Yay!
The movie sleuth herself. Yeah, check her stuff out. She's amazing. She sees so many movies. It's crazy. As you can tell just behind her, part of her collection.
I have a movie or two.
But yeah, she has a couple movies. But yeah, check her out. And then Nate Adams, the onlycritic.com, and frequent collaborator here on Movie Show Plus. Thank you for your time, Nate.
Thanks for having me. Everyone enjoy the Oscars. Well, hopefully, it's a great night for us. It's our Super Bowl.
Beer open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody. Wait,
All
hold
right,
on.
everybody. Thank you guys.
Look, I got my Oscar right here. I would like to thank Thompson
there you go,
Tilly
Nate, you're the
for
winner.
having me on the show.
Oh, they're giving you a wrap. They're giving you a wrap. All right, sorry, man. All right, well, thanks to both of them, and let's get right to it. Again, it's 6:27 on my clock. We're about to go into the winners. So on the screen, it's your last chance right now. Sign up for our e-newsletter. If you're already a member of the e-newsletter, then you're in the raffle drawing. We're going to call some names off here for the winners. Let me pull up the graphic again just to show you guys. So there are the 6 movies. There are going to be 6 winners, and then a 7th winner is going to get a $25 gift card to the Maple Theater. But here's the catch to this, everybody. I want you to know this. So here's the deal. If you're watching live, that's great. If I call your name and you're watching live, respond and say yay or something, and then I'll know that you saw it, and then we'll connect with you through email and we'll get you your prize. However, the person that wins is going to be contacted. If they don't get back to us within 24 hours, we're not going to give them the prize. We're going to draw a new name. So if you're watching this on delay, or if you're watching this taped or something, or you just didn't sign up for the newsletter until afterward, you can still do so. There's a chance we might contact you later in the week. All right, so without further ado, here are the 7 winners, and I will tell you in secret which one you won, which thing you won of the movies and all that. So let's do this. All right, we're gonna go first with Aaron Trendway. Let's see if anybody's on here to listen to this. Oh, and by the way, I know I'm giving everybody suspense now, but before we go, let me just acknowledge all of these great people who, were commenting throughout the show. Nate knows his movies, love all the insight. Thanks, this was fun. Awesome. Oh, Aaron's listening. He won. Good job. You're in. All right, the next one we got is Verline Ferris. If Verline Ferris is watching, just give a comment, and you will win one of the movies or a Maple Theater gift card. Let's see. Great show, great show. Everybody's saying it's a great show. I appreciate it. We're running out of time here. Let's keep going. Third name, Monica Craig. Hey, I know this name because she's been commenting a lot all night long. Congratulations, Diane. You, who just said enjoy Oscars, Diane Glaza Helbling. Sorry if I butchered your name. You're a winner. Okay. Couple more left here. How many have I called? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 3 more. How about Heather Hoy? Oh, Monica. Hey, Monica. Yeah, she won. Stephen Taylor. Thanks, Diane. And last but not least, another person. I see your name on here. Hey, Heather Hoy, I see you. Thank you. Kathleen Meldrum, a winner. She's still on? Kathleen Meldrum is the final winner. So again, thank you to those people. I'll read those names. Kathleen Meldrum, Monica Craig, Diane Glaza Helbling, Heather Hoy, Stephen Taylor, Aaron Trendway, Verline Ferris. You guys are winners. Everybody out there, thank you. The Oscars are starting. The pre-show is starting over on ABC. I'm going to let you go. I want to flash one quick last thing up here on the screen. You can help support Movie Show Plus by becoming a Patreon. As little as $3 a month helps our show stay on the air and helps us continue to do shows like this. I don't make any money off of this, but there's production costs to bringing you live shows and interviewing people and traveling all over the state. So we really appreciate your support. We're the longest running local TV show. And I'm so excited to watch the Oscars. I'm going to be live tweeting. I'll throw that up on the screen as well. This is me. I'm the film critic for WXYZ Channel 7. Movie Show Plus, of course. And you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and follow my stuff. But I really hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know there were some technical glitches. I'm hosting the show. I'm listening. I'm trying to monitor the comments. And I'm directing the show all at once. So maybe if we get a couple more Patreons, I can hire like a director to take over and do some work for us. But anyway, this has been a blast. Everybody enjoy the Oscars. And we'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody.
Check out MovieShowPlus.com to watch this episode online and for exclusive content, extended interviews with Greg Russell, and a complete archive of movie reviews with Tom Santilli. Also, make sure to like and follow us on social media and on our Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.